Hello everyone and welcome to the William Morris Society's half-term family activity here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Tabby. I'm the Learning and Outreach Officer here at the Society, and I'm joined today by Maggie. Say hi, Maggie.
Hi everybody, I'm Maggie and I'm a volunteer at William Morris Society.
Amazing. So today we're going to be learning how to make embroidered cards. It's a very easy way to start learning embroidery, and we're going to show you how. It's very simple. So why at the William Morris Society are we making embroidered cards? Why are we interested in embroidery? Well, that's because of May Morris. May Morris was William and Jane Morris's youngest daughter. She was born in 1862 and she was an incredibly talented artist, designer, and embroiderer. In fact, she was made director of embroidery at Morris & Co. at age just 23, so she was really young. She was also a big supporter of female artists and designers, and even co-founded an organisation called the Women's Guild of Arts. And we're lucky enough to have the archive for the Women's Guild of Arts at the William Morris Society. So in our collection at the William Morris Society, we have a huge number of beautiful embroideries and embroidery designs by May. So we thought we'd use it as our inspiration for this half-term activity. May described design as being the very essence and soul of beautiful embroidery, as we're going to show you through May's beautiful embroidery designs. And when we are thinking of our own embroidery designs later, we have to think very hard about the design before we actually start embroidering. This is a beautiful bunch of grapes embroidery by May. So this is a lovely another embroidery design by May. This is a pencil and watercolour design called Apple Tree Screen, made by May between 1885 and 1890. May's embroidery designs, as you can see, were very inspired by nature and the natural world. Perhaps when you're creating your designs, you could use inspiration from your garden or from your daily walks and nature around you. She also used a lot of repeating patterns, as you can see here, in this embroidery design for a cushion cover. May also really liked to use symmetry in her embroidery designs, saying symmetry, order, and balance are above all things essential. So maybe bear that in mind as well and try and create a symmetrical design for your card embroidery. Once May had perfected her design, she then used lots of different types of stitches to embroider onto fabric and create different stitches, different textures from her stitches. Here in this example called Orange Tree, she has used stem stitch, French knots, and long and short stitch. Bit of a mouthful there. Some of her designs were very inspired by churches and contained images of figures rather than the natural world, as we saw in the previous designs. This example from our collection was inspired by a stained glass design by her father, William. So today we are going to do our very own embroidery on cards. And what do you need? Well, you'll need yarn or string. It's very important to use yarn because it works much better than just using thread. It's more impactful, we found. You'll need card, and this can be just a piece of card, or you could even use a pre-made card that you have at home. Perhaps it's just been somebody's birthday and you have cards left over, and you can add a bit of embroidery to them to give them a second life. You'll need a large needle, also called a bodkin. You'll need a pair of scissors and also, very importantly, a safety pin, as well as a helpful adult, depending on how old you are. You might need a helpful adult to help you use the safety pin and the needle. Here's a couple of examples of ones that we have made previously. This is some embroidery on a pre-made card, and you can see how you can add a little extra dimension with texture. And here's another one as well. So you can use any sort of yarn you like, any sort of colour. Here we've used some tinsel yarn, which is super fun. So now we're going to have a go at making our very own embroidered cards. So I'm just going to turn on my video here, which is going to give you a better view. Just a second while I turn that on. Here we go. So this is going to give you a bit more of a close-up of what we're doing. And then there we go. So let's get started making our own embroidered cards. Where should we start, Maggie?
Right, well, we need our card, and if we not got a design on a card already, we need to make our design. So we maybe take a piece of plain card, white card or coloured card, and a pencil or a pen, and then we'll draw our design. And if we're going to do it like maybe something from nature, something natural, maybe a stem, so a curved line. May really liked curved lines, wavy lines. And then that looks to me like it needs some leaves on it. So maybe we could draw some leaves on coming off the stem. It's a nice simple leaf shape. And they quite often there's one on each side. So there we've got symmetry. Remember that symmetry is important as well. And we've got repeats. I think we're doing very well here. That looks wonderful. Lots of leaves. So we've got a stem and we've got some leaves. And those are things that we can improve by using our thread. But the first thing we need is our safety pin. Who knew? And the safety pin is very good at making holes, and it's much better to make the holes before you start stitching. So we'll use the safety pin and we open it out a bit so that we can hold it well, and this, honestly, it works really, really well. If you've got a useful grown-up around, then I would suggest asking the grown-up to do this. Right, they like to be helpful. So we've got it ready, and we just make some holes. We start maybe with a leaf and make a hole just where it joins the stem, and then following along the line, leave maybe a couple of centimetres and make another hole. Just push it through. It's very easy to do. And then another couple of centimetres. And then we just keep going round, doing that just about the same distance apart, just working our way round. Make sure to make a hole at any important point. For example, where it turns round again. It's useful to have a hole just there. And work your way back to where you started.
And then you've got not to have your fingers behind it as well, just in case. And also have a helpful adult.
Yes.
We can't helpful
helpful adult. Try not to make a hole in yourself as well.
Fabulous. I've done one.
Does happen sometimes. Excellent. And it's a good idea not to have the holes too close together so that you don't risk tearing your paper, especially if you're working on paper rather than card. Card puts up with a bit more, but you can do it on paper as well. Leaving that space means that your stitches, you'll have successful stitching afterwards. Then, okay, we can do it all the way round, but for now, we'll just stick with our leaf because I'm sure you'd like to see what the stitching looks like. So we've made some holes. Now we need to do some stitching. So we need our needle and we need some yarn or thread on the needle.
I'm going for this lovely green yarn for my leaf.
Yes, excellent. So we cut off not too much because if it's very long, you may, there's a chance it gets a bit mixed up with itself and it takes longer to sew.
I tend to use about an elbow's length. That's
a really good design. Yeah, elbow's length is good. Right, a cubit. and make a, so thread your needle, and then right at the end of the needle, the other end of the needle, right, we make a knot. So just, so this can be our embroiderer, or it could be our helpful grown-up. Make a knot just at the end of the thread, the other end of the thread, just to make life easier.
Here we go.
Excellent. Yes. Very good.
Lovely.
Excellent. Now we've got our needle and thread, we've got our design, and we've got the holes. We're ready to start stitching. Now, if you turn your paper or card over, you'll see, when you turn it over onto the back, you can see there's your design again, just the holes. They're very important because you will be doing some working on the back, and we start at the back. So we'll start at the back, and I would start at one of the points. So either the top or bottom of the leaf, it doesn't matter which way round. Maybe at the bottom where it joins the thread, and push your needle through, all the way through, and then turn it over again and pull your thread through, and it'll stop when it gets to the knot. Excellent. So next, we find the next hole along the line, and we push the needle through back to the back again. Put it through and then pull it all through. Excellent. That's looking fantastic. I'm sure yours is looking really good. Then we need to find the next hole. So have a look through, find the next hole and push your needle through. Excellent. Pull it through. Now, here we need to decide. You can either just do exactly as we've done, through and up, and keep going round, but you'll only end up with half the design. Or go back to the second hole so that you're covered, going back a bit. That's it. Go through that hole, push the needle through, pull it through. Excellent, lovely. And now you can see we've completely covered the leaf, and I think you'll be happier with that. Then on to the next hole. Excellent. Marvellous. And then we go back, and we call this back stitch because we have to keep going back. All right, so excellent back stitch going on to the next hole. Very good. Pull it through and back again. Excellent. And back, and then back to the onto the next hole. Very good. And back.
Almost done.
Almost done. We've almost done this leaf now. And through again to the next hole. Onto the next. And back. Very good. Doesn't take long at all. Excellent. And the next one. And back.
One more, and then I'm done with that leaf. Excellent.
This is all excellent. So we do it once more. And through. That's lovely. Yay. Now, we could decide that we're then going to do the next leaf and carry on with that. Or we might decide that we'd like to do that with a different colour or a different kind of yarn. So we might decide we want to finish using this thread, this yarn. If we decided to finish, then we turn it over to the back. And then we just thread the yarn through some of those stitches on the back, just the back. Don't go through to the front again. Just through a couple of times, and you'll have a circle that you can actually take it once more, but this time you've got a circle. Bring it through the circle, just in through the circle, and it makes a kind of a knot, and then once more, and then you can just cut it off. If it goes through again, you've almost made a little knot on the back, and you can cut it, just cut it, and you're done. Excellent. Perfect. Lovely, neat work on one side and a beautiful leaf on the other side. That's wonderful. So say you can do it just in and out, which we call running stitch, because it goes very fast. Or if you go back like we've done, you've done back stitch. So that's 2 stitches already. Wonderful. And so you can, and the lovely thing about sewing and stitching is that you can say, oh, I've got to go out now. That's fine. You come back to it, doesn't matter. Or you can carry on with what you're doing. You can carry on and do the next one.
So you could do it all in different coloured stitches, or you could even finish it off with some felt tips if you didn't want to. It doesn't all have to be in stitches, does it?
Not at all. You can do a nice mixture. It's your design.
Maggie, is there a way that we can neaten up the back a bit, because that's a bit messy, if we wanted to give it to somebody as, say,
when
a birthday card?
Yes, when you've finished, you might decide that you'd rather keep that the work on the back a bit of a secret. So the best thing to do that is to have another piece of card or paper which will cover your design. Excellent. And then all you need is a bit of glue and just stick it down on top, and then it's all hidden. Just a nice bit of glue and cover it up, and then nobody can see what your stitches looked like, which is usually a very good idea.
Yay!
Yay. Right, so there, and then you can write on or send to somebody, and they'll be very impressed by your beautiful stitching. Well done.
Amazing. That was actually very easy, wasn't it? I don't know why I was expecting it to be harder. Excellent. So let me just take this off now. 1 second. Just going to go back to my presentation. Here we go. Full screen. Excellent. That was very easy, creating our own embroidered cards. Well, thank you so much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed learning more about May Morris's embroideries, and maybe you'll have a go at embroidering yourself. And perhaps even when you've had a go at card embroidery, you might have a go at embroidery on material. Find lots more fun, free family activities on our website at williammorrissociety.org/create. And we really hope you have a really lovely rest of your half term, or whenever you're watching this. Thank you so much. Join us again soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.